Right, so I'm on my coffee break at work. I'm a bit agitated because I have to repeatedly email a client with the same instructions over again. Just log out and try again. So the backstory of the extra agitation and sound of my voice as I'm making this, I guess this is just a rant. I've watched a few of these reviews of science fiction with Damien Walter. I don't know if he's famous. I just randomly come across some of them. And I was obviously agitated at work, in my spare time watching these reviews, because I'm just repeatedly sending the same email, watch a clip, send the same email again, watch a clip. And it's like, I'm getting agitated watching his reviews. It's like Basic Instinct, Showgirls, Starship Troopers, and The Batman. In all of his reviews, he doesn't get the point in the movies. He's analysing the movies from his own perspective that he's projecting on to the movies. So he's watching the movies, having an emotional reaction, and then just vomiting up some philosophical nonsense. I'm going to call it a political philosophy because it does. The end result is political action if you follow the same viewpoint as Damien Walter. So in all those examples that I gave, in all those movies he's reviews, he misses the points of the movies. Why does he miss the point? Because he doesn't analyze the movies from the perspective of the creator of the movies, or the writers, or everyone who's involved in the creative process, on what they're thinking, their cultural background. He just analyzes it, or has a reaction, and projects his own insecurities onto it. So I'm going to use Who is the Batman For as the prime example. I think that's the title of the video, but then the thumbnail, it's like Batman for Incels, which I guess is kind of funny, right? So I mean, obviously, I don't hate Damien Walter. I just despise the underpinning political philosophy behind his analysis. It's like, first of all, incel. Maybe, okay, I haven't read a book on this concept. My understanding is that incels are an internet phenomenon, and it's largely used as a slur targeting men. Like, I see people use this slur incel towards men who are married. So it doesn't really make sense. It's an attempt to dehumanize and make men feel bad about themselves. And they'll stand back and go, hee, I'm actually making an intelligent point. But you're not making an intelligent point. So he is specifically talking about the current generation of men, who I'm going to refer to as Generation Z. I could be wrong about Damien Walter, but he refers to himself as growing up in the 90s, so he's the same age as me, same generation, or a bit older, but we both are coming from the 90s, from a 90s perspective, but we obviously are from the two opposite sides of the 90s perspective. I view that The Matrix is the best movie of all time, and the 90s is peak humanity. That's my point of view on the 90s. So what's the difference between us and Generation Z? Well, okay, I don't know Damien Walter, but he's a smug asshole. Sorry, I didn't want to insult him. He's a smug asshole. I don't know his background or his experience. But let's say, for me, as an older male, like, we're the younger side of middle age at this point, we've had more life experiences. We had a better education than Generation Z. We had more access to jobs. And because of better access to education and jobs, we have better social interactions. I grew up, or the 90s was peak capitalism democracy. Society is now collapsing, or I'm from Ireland. My perspective is that society is collapsing because I am from Ireland, and Ireland is definitely collapsing. Generation Z, in comparison to me, have less access to jobs, money, education, stability. and therefore they have less social connections, and therefore obviously get laid less. Obviously. Like, I talk to males in their 20s, and they're virgins. And, oh, that's supposed to be off my coffee break. Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop! See, that's how you get a woman to obey. So we have more opportunities. I'm gonna have a date in the next 3 hours, I think. I hope I get the time right. I hope I'm not too early or too late. Look, we have more opportunities than Generation Z. My approach, and he references Jordan Peterson, is that we're supposed to lead by example and help this generation that is going to have a much harder time than we are, and help them. But this guy, Damien Walter, just makes content insulting Gen Z. He calls them incels, and the worst of all, just pointlessly slandering masculinity, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, for example, in Who's the Batman 4, he calls it, this is all about men, it's a criticism of men. It's like, anybody who analyzes Batman content, it's about society. Like, Gotham City could be any city in the world. Like, my home city, Dublin, is very much like Gotham City right now. Like, it is being, we have arson attacks every week. We're on the edge of a civil war. It is just constant corruption. There's gangs are spiraling out of control. There's different factions, and all comically have these weird different themes to them, quite like in the older Batman, I guess, content. So, yeah, sure, you could say it's about men, because men mostly write this content, and then thus men will mostly be the characters. But similarly to, say, Basic Instinct and Showgirls, he ignores the fact that women have agency. Women have free will. Women are not living in some kind of masculine patriarchy world, as he describes, and therefore can't do anything. In those movies that I just mentioned, like in real life, women actually do make decisions, and most of the time they fall into difficult situations because they are bad decision makers. So society as a whole requires both men and women to function properly. In fact, controversial opinion, we need everybody, or as much as possible, to be functional, to be getting jobs, to be doing well, having a good life, being integrated in society, and being happy. To be able to make their own decisions and not fall into drugs, prostitution, gangs. But we can watch movies about these topics and acknowledge that these are immoral things, and get a message like a Showgirls. Why am I the only person that understands the meaning behind Showgirls? The point is that lifestyle is negative, and it shows the negative side of the lifestyle. Certainly, like the Batman is like a male version, I guess, of where there's a male protagonist in a sleazy city. Showgirls is a female protagonist in a sleazy city, like Gotham City, Las Vegas. There could be similarities there to see. So women have agency. We need women to make better choices, like we need men to make better choices, and together we make a better society. And so this is the crucial philosophical viewpoint that myself and Damien Walter are going to have a conflict in. I don't know what I'm going to call my philosophy. I guess I am pro-masculine. I mean, the theme of this YouTube channel is martial philosophy, war games, martial arts. So it's definitely Mars-orientated. Martial Mars. There is only war. Get up and it's time to fight. So I'm pro that kind of traditional masculine energy, which I imagine Damien Walter does not like. That kind of approach. Because as he mentions in that video, I can't pronounce their names. Lacan and a few other these French intellectuals We would call them postmodernists. Politically, they're the new left. So, I think Damien Walter is American. I'm from Ireland. The governing political philosophy in Ireland at the moment is the new left. They are against masculinity. They describe the world around them as too masculine and they want to destroy it. Like Damien Walters, like Lacan, like the philosophers that he mentions it. So in Ireland we have this conflict. One group of people, it's like, the world is too masculine. There is no truth. There is no reality. Everything's subjective. How do you feel? If you feel something is bad and therefore you can get violent, like they're part of this culture, the new left culture, the end result of their political philosophy is just random violence and destruction. So where am I going from here? Going on my rant. So I see Gotham City, like Dublin, is in decay, and my approach is to be more masculine. I wouldn't recommend the Batman or being like a Batman as the best solution, but the reason why people like the character Batman is that they see it as a dark, masculine character that is a better alternative than disgusting decay of Gotham City or Dublin. I personally am not recommending being like Batman. So the elements that he touches on at the end of his video, where he's talking about the Riddler's army and how it connects with incel culture, it's like, yeah, bro, I can totally understand a bunch of angry young men like saying random mean stuff to women online and making, like sometimes women will make content and some angry men will just type nonsense. Like that's what Riddler's army is representing in some way. But the people who follow the New Left philosophy do the exact same thing. Like they're also online just constantly just attacking people that they don't like. They have a negative reaction and then they try to bully people online. And you've got cancel culture and actively have terrorism. Like yesterday, Stephen Bedford was arrested. He's a terrorist who tried to run me over in a car. Maybe I shouldn't get into those stories. But like we have active terrorism in Ireland and in America has active terrorism. They are following the New Left philosophy. Not every single terrorist. We've got Islamic terrorists, Christian fundamentalists, there's different kinds of terrorists, but terrorists that follow New Left philosophy, they exist. And to me, they are identical to the aggressive incels. Because in my mind, and I'm influenced by Jordan Peterson, violence is always wrong, regardless how you feel. So you can't just feel something and have a reaction. You should not be violent. Whether you're a violent incel or a violent New Left, you shouldn't be violent. You should be defensive and protect yourself. That's the point of martial philosophy, is we want to defend ourselves as opposed to just destroy things randomly. So there you go. I got my pee in my bonnet over this guy who I don't have a clue who he is. Don't know anything about him. Maybe we'll be friends in real life, but I can't stand the New Left and postmodern philosophy. I just hate the anti-masculine attitude. It's just smug and obnoxious. Like, it's just behind your screen, insulting people who are struggling more than you, thinking that you're great. Go to hell. Go to hell. To the Generation Z in the world, go lift weights. Do martial arts. Look how bad society is. Do the opposite almost. That's my rough critique. Oh yeah. Furthermore, Andrew Tate, not a good role model. Why compare like Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate? Like Jordan Peterson is the top psychologist in the world. Andrew Tate, I'm not saying he's a criminal, but he does shady things. And he's like, this thing was like, Andrew Tate is so influential in Generation Z. I never meet anyone. who likes Andrew Tate in real life. Anyway, probably shouldn't have gotten that annoyed with watching his videos, but I thought it'd be productive to make a mega long rant instead of typing out an essay in the comment sections. In the grim, dark future, there is only war.